my friend?
I'm ready, bro. Let's do this shit.
Let's do it. All right. So this, I'm actually like, I'm quite upset. And I'll be honest. I mean, I really, really am. Gordon Goddard, one of the main founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club, posted this tweet about a week ago. And I'll read it word for word. So it's a tweet thread, and he says some heavy news. A few days ago, I was told by the doctor I have congestive heart failure. Symptoms started last year out of the blue, and I put off seeking help like an idiot so I could keep working. But after testing, my doctor called me and asked me to radically change my life. Firstly, my symptoms are still mild. Stairs whine me. I can't play with my dog or exercise. I can go on walks, travel, and live mostly a normal life, but the condition is progressing pretty fast, and that means I need to make some serious life changes. What does this mean as it relates to my work at Yuga? It means I'm going to be taking a leave of absence to focus on my health for a while. Those of you who know my story know I lost my 20s to a chronic illness. So when I recovered and we started Yuga, I didn't want to waste a second chance at life. I pushed myself way past my limits. I worked 12 hours a day, nearly every day. I should have taken the advice from everyone around me and sought balance. My goals now are to get the best medical treatment I can and heal. What next? I will stay on as a board member and strategic advisor. My confidence in Yuga's future and Crypto Gaga, so Gaga's leadership are unwavering. Daniel Allegri soon joining only makes me more bullish. While I won't be on the front lines for a while, I'm incredibly excited for what the Yuga family has coming this year. Not a lot of people outside the space know the extent of what we as a community have done. I'm proud of everything that we've achieved, and I believe Yuga's impact on Web3 is just the beginning. All love from Willie. So I'll tell you, like, my thoughts reading this. First of all, I do know his story very, very well, and from listening to podcasts with him on and things like that. And he was pretty much bedridden for like 5 to 6 years. And in his 20s, and to think that someone who's gone through that and found, recovered and found a new lease on life is now having health issues is very upsetting. That's number one. Number two, anytime I see anything with heart related conditions, I get very emotional because my son Danny, who's 10 years old, was born with a congenital heart disease, has had open heart surgery, and is still dealing with heart issues. So things like him saying he can't walk upstairs and things like that, it just touches me because it's so close to home. It makes me think, where will my Dan be in 20 years and what it may be. So that's the other side to it. And the other side is that I love Yuga Labs. And I think that Willie or Gordon Gonner is a massive part of that, a really big part.
You think so?
I do. I do. He
Really?
was a big part in building it. And he's definitely the voice of the project
Yeah.
on any of the
Okay.
podcasts and things like that. So
All
that's the
two.
three things. Those are the three. I'm gonna ask you what you think now. Those are the three things about it, right? But on the other side, in today's day and age, heart conditions can be fixed. And yes, it's a massive, massive operation, a very risky operation to have open heart surgery. Sometimes they can actually do it through a stint where they don't have to actually operate on you. They go in through a vein or something. I don't know his proper condition now, but I'm pretty certain that he'll sort it out and he'll be back stronger than before. So my parting thoughts on this before I hand to you, Kate, is I send him regards. I know that he's not going to be watching our little show, but I do really wish him the best, and I hope he finds recovery. And also, what did touch me is the work life balance, which I think is really, really important, regardless of anything. One thing that money can't buy is health, and time. Those are the two things that money can't buy. Yes, you can have good doctors or whatever, but if you get stage 4 brain cancer, no matter how much money you have and what treatment you have, unless you're very lucky, your life is going to radically change and you might not make it, right? And the same thing with time. You cannot buy more time with money. My kids are growing up. They, almost 10 already. I can never go back to when they were 1 or 2 and hold a baby again, those babies again, and so time passes. So it touched me on many, many levels. And yeah, that's my thinking about it. Kate, I'll pass to you, my friend.
So with this Gordon Goddard thing, I think what I've noticed over the last year is that, especially when you cross a certain line, when a project starts to become very much like a business in the way that Board Yacht Club has kind of corporated itself, sort of got like a CEO, they've got an LLC, they've got all the things that they would need to start a business as they should. And people leave. Like we saw Moonbirds, we saw that happen. Like a core member of Moonbirds left very early because his position on the team had a specific role. He filled the role, he was done. With Gordon Goddard, he was the founder, starter. He hasn't been that. I don't think he's very integral to the team in the sense that in 5 years, if he left today completely and just disappeared, and in 5 years, would anyone care or notice? Like, the answer is fucking no. He hasn't like established himself in the same way that like a Bill Gates did or Steve Jobs did, where they're renowned. He's sort of renowned on Twitter, but he's been on 2 podcasts. No one knows him. No one really
is the Bill Gates of NFTs. NFTs haven't been around for as long as Microsoft has.
If Gordon Goddard
Yuga is the biggest project.
If Frank D. Gods and Gordon Goddard walk into a room, I bet you anything, more people go to Frank. Anything.
I don't agree.
I agree. No one will even know what Gordon Goddard looks like except for a few Boy Yacht Club people and people who are deep in the ecosystem.
Let me show you guys.
Like, y'all don't realize the power of like face. When people don't see your face very often, you're not actually that important. And I do not believe he's as important as people think, even though he's integral. He's integral. But I think in 4 weeks, no one will remember.
I think now Bored Ape Yacht Club's got the money and the infrastructure. They've got, I think, almost a 100-member team that is not going to have a huge, impact on the day-to-day running of it. However, I do think that he was an integral part of that small team in the beginning. Sure. It was him. It was 4 of them. Gaga and 2 others or whatever.
I can remember. It's almost like they don't really talk about their story as much and. They've built it's a lady. I don't remember her name either.
They've built an incredible project, the best project. They are the ones that started the airdrops. They are the ones that's everything that you see. They pioneered that, and he was a big part of that. And I always respect the first movers in any industry. So I respect Gordon Goddard very, very much. I really do. Do I think that they're in trouble now without him? Probably not. And I think he'll come back. I think he'll recover and come back. However, it's a story that really did touch me. It really, really did.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm down with it. I respect him too. I just don't think that this is like people are gonna get mad because they're like, it's important that you stay because you are important, and like that's true for a while until it's just not, because you have to move on. Like if whatever, like Doodles is running and then Jordan Poopy.eth just dips. Like it's gonna make a big of a hit because a lot of people were in because of him. But at the same time, after a few weeks, everyone has to move on. In the same way that in your favorite TV shows, your main character dies, everyone else has to move on. And it's just a fact.
Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. That TV show doesn't recover, and sometimes that business doesn't recover. I think you're right. I think they will, because they're big enough to. Whereas when you take a smaller company or a smaller project where the main founder, the person who's been there from the beginning, ends up stepping down, you never find someone who understands the project, understands the community, has the same passion, is willing to work 20 hours a day for 7 days a week for it. You hire someone, you pay them a salary. I'll be here at 8, I'll leave at 5. Thank you very much. I'm not available after hours. I'm not available on weekends. That's very different to a founder of a project who almost reared this baby and cares about it. So I think you've lost, in not having him involved in the day-to-day running of it, you've lost someone with a power and a love for this project that is hard to replicate. I don't think you can. Yes, there are other founders, so that helps, but I think they are big enough to overcome it as far as the size of the amount of people working there, that things will continue without him, and certain things where he was sticking his nose and now they've got professional marketers might do even better. However, if it was a smaller project with maybe a team of 3 or 4 or 5, that could be the death sign for a project like that, for sure. To lose your founding, committed founder, it could be a big thing. Like I truly believe that if I left my company, it would struggle to do like it does. It might not succeed.
You probably have to train someone, but you'd be able to do it.
Even so.
No,
unless you give that new person ownership interest, like almost 50%, and really sit with him for a very long time, so that he's incentivized to have the same. And but here, this is quite abrupt. He's stepping down. I think they'll be okay. They're big enough to do so. I'm just saying I don't agree that it would work with any project or any company. I think if you're a lot smaller, it's very difficult to replicate that sort of commitment.
I agree. Like if Frankie left, he's already stepped down and become like main artist and like sort of like creative director kind of. But if he stepped away, That would suck. I would not be stoked about that. Like, I'm pretty much in that collection because I fuck with the art, but I fuck with it because it's
Exactly.
Frankie's and he's there. If he left, that'd be
Yeah.
weird, you know?
Exactly. So I
So,
think that, and I think that applies to a lot of, smaller companies, projects, things like that.
yep.
But
Great.
either way, thoughts and prayers with him and his family, and I'm sure he'll be okay. These things can be fixed. But yeah, definitely big news in the space that I haven't seen anyone actually talking about. So other big news that I've seen every